Hey there, it's me again. So in my previous bow build video, I mentioned that I was gonna put out another video showcasing my personal Post-Fatalis builds. So as promised, here you go. For those of you who clicked on this video expecting some sort of meta set, then sorry to disappoint you, but I highly doubt this could be considered meta. So you're probably better off finding someone else for that. I'll leave a link to the meta sets down in the description below though, so you can go there. But for those of you who are gonna be staying to watch through the rest of the video, these are my builds that I have tweaked to my personal liking, which are comfy builds. So feel free to take ideas from this video and tweak them to, however you like to fit your own playstyle. Also, just a quick note, none of the weapons shown have been augmented in any way, so meaning even more room for you to tweak the sets. But enough talking from me, let's get into the builds. So starting off with the ice build, we have the Kia Stream Bow, Fatalis Helmet Beta, Fatalis Chest Alpha, Arms Beta, Waist Alpha, Yangaruga Greaves Beta, and Frost Charm 5 with the decorations as shown to you on the screen right now. So with this build, we will get Agitator 7, Ice Attack 6, Crit Eye 5, Constitution 5, Evade Window 5, Weakness Exploit 3, Stun Resistance 3, Spread Power Shots 2, Stamina Surge 2, Crit Boost 1, Fortify, Bow Charge Plus, Crit Element, and Clutch Claw Boost. So let's go over the skills and why I chose them. For Agitator 7, this skill gives a big attack and affinity boost whenever the monster is enraged, which is really easy to achieve now with the Clutch Claw. So all you have to do is just slap the monster 3 times so you can keep almost 100% uptime for this skill, and boosting your damage throughout basically the entire hunt. For Ice Attack 6, it's because bows are very elemental damage focused weapons, so maxing out your elemental damage is a no-brainer. For Critical Eye 5, I know we are losing 15% affinity by having it at only level 5, but with this, the set already has 35% affinity, which means that if we add on the 20% from Agitator and 50% from Weakness Exploit, we have our affinity maxed out by targeting an enraged monster's tenderized weak spot. So I decided to leave it out so I can slot in other more useful skills. Bow Charge Plus, another no-brainer skill. It gives you an extra charge to your shots, so you can dish out more damage while dash dancing. Basically a mandatory skill for bows. Weakness Exploit 3, part of the holy trinity of our builds. It gives you a massive boost to affinity when hitting tenderized weak spots, so more critical chance equals more damage. Constitution 5 and Stamina Surge 2. These are essential stamina management skills for bows because it is the most stamina hungry weapon in the game. Constitution gives you stamina reduction with every level up to the cap of 50%, while Stamina Surge helps gain your stamina back more quickly. Normally I will only go for Constitution 3, but since I could afford to max it out, figure why not? And with the Fatalis 4-piece set bonus, you have all the stamina you could ever want. Stun Resistance 3, this is a byproduct of the build, but it's still extremely useful because this makes it so that you never have to worry about getting stunned ever again. God knows how many times I've been carted because I got stunned, left with the tiniest sliver of health, and you just see the monster winding up for its next attack, aimed straight at me. Critical Boost 1. This is where my builds go off meta. Yes, Crit Boost 3 will be optimal for damage, but it's only an additional 10% from level 1 where it gives 30% from 0. So it's not that much of an increase anyway for a skill that you have to spend 2 extra slots on. So personally, my opinion is that level 1 is more than good enough in my builds. Evade Window 5, I prefer this over Divine Blessing because practicing not getting hit at all is much better than trying to tank the hit with RNG. Evade Window basically boosts the number of iframes you get while dodging, meaning that the timing will be much more lenient for you and you'll be able to dodge attacks that have hitboxes which linger around for a tiny bit longer. So pair this with the charging sidestep and you have a much easier time staying on the offensive. Critical Element. This is a very useful skill for elemental damage because unlike crit boost, which only boosts the raw portion of the damage, crit element instead boosts the elemental portion when you land critical hits. And because like I mentioned before, bow is an elemental damage focused weapon, so this skill just fits in very well. For Clutch Claw boost, this helps make it so that you can tenderize the monster parts in 1 hit instead of 2. In all honesty, it's not the most useful skill because you can still tenderize in 1 hit if you slap the monster 3 times first before doing your clutch attack, even with light weapons. So you can definitely opt out to having this skill here and replace it with whatever you want. I just have it there because I don't know what else to put, frankly speaking. Spread Power Shots 2. This boosts the damage when using Power Shots and 1000 Dragons. Dash Dancing Power Shots at max charge is going to be your highest DPS option by far. And I personally dash dance a lot, so I figured might as well boost the damage of it since I can afford to. But this skill isn't exactly necessary either. I just have it because I can and I feel like having it. Fortify. This is probably the highest boost in damage and defense you can get in the entire game at the measly cost of a level 1 slot. It gives you a 10% increase in damage and defense the first time you cut, and 20% for the second time. Seeing as most quests only allow for 3 feigns, this skill is definitely not recommended if you play a lot of multiplayer, but for solo, it's definitely a very worthwhile skill to have, especially if you're fighting a monster you normally have a lot of trouble with. Regardless, I still bring this to multiplayer hunts because I'm usually the one using the feline card service anyway. Not that I should be proud of it though. Now moving on to the fire build. Instead of the Kia King bow, I am using the Safi's Hell bow instead because RNG hates me. But apart from that, this build is almost identical to the ice one that I just showed. Same armor pieces as before, just with the charm swapped out from Blaze Charm to match the element. So with this set, we'll get Agitator 7, Fire Attack 6, Critical Eye 5, Cons 5, Evade Window 5, Weakness Exploit 3, Stun Resistance 3, Spread Power Shots 2, Stamina Surge 2, Crit Boost 1, Fortify, Free Meal 1, 2 Special Use 1, Bow Charge Plus, and Clutch Claw Boost. That was a lot to say, but as you can see, you get almost the exact same skills as the ice build, but because Safi weapons have an additional level 4 slot by default, I could fit in 2 new skills with this build. The first one is Free Meal 1. Just overall a very comfy skill. It gives you a 25% chance to not consume your item, meaning that you could potentially use your potions, null berries, antidotes and the like and not consume it. So this should help keep you from running out of items for a little while longer, depending on your luck. As for 2 Specialist 1, honestly, at level 1 it really doesn't do very much, but I don't really know what else to have in place of it, so it's there for now. But regardless, it helps reduce the cooldown on your mantles, so you can put them back on sooner than usual. And since I personally already have 2 levels of it in both my mantles, this just helps me get them back even more quickly. Next up, we have the Dragon build. In this build, we are using the Elytrium Bow, Fatalis Helmet, Chest, Arms, and Waist Beta, Elytrium Greaves Beta, and Master's Charm 4, because I still haven't killed Arch-Tempered Velkhana yet. And as for skills, we get Agitator 7, Dragon Attack 6, Crit Eye 6, Cons 5, Evade Window 5, Stun Resistance 3, Defense Boost 3, Weakness Exploit 3, Coalescence 3, Blight Resistance 2, Stamina Surge 2, Crit Boost 1, Free Meal 1, and Bow Charge Plus. Since this also has a lot of skills in common with their previous builds, I'll skip over them because the reasoning is the same, and I'll just go through only the new ones. So for Defense Boost 3, this is a byproduct of the Greaves. It probably won't really make a noticeable difference, but you know, it's there, so take it. Coalescence and Blight Resistance 2, on the other hand, I personally quite like this combination. Blight Resistance 2 helps make it so that you can get rid of whatever blight you're inflicted with 75% more quickly, and Coalescence helps give you a considerable boost to your attack and elemental damage or status whenever you recover from blights. So you can see how these two skills play off each other. Granted, there aren't a lot of monsters that are actually weak to dragon, but for those that are, like Devil Joe and Fatalis, which is probably the main monsters where you actually bring a Dragon Ball, they can easily give you Dragon Blight and Fire Blight, so it'll be fairly easy to keep Coalescence in effect. Now, some of you who aren't familiar with the skill might notice that I left Blight Resistance at level 2 instead of maxing it out, and might be kind of confused about that. That's because at level 3, you become completely immune to blights. So since you become immune to them, you no longer have blights to recover from anymore, meaning that Coalescence will never get to activate. So you'll just be wasting slots at that point. So I personally keep it at level 2 so that I can recover from blights as quickly as possible and, you know, have an easier time keeping Coalescence up. On to the next element, Thunder. This time we go back to the Kia Bows again with Kia Spark, along with Fatalis Helm Beta, Fatalis Chest Alpha, Kirin Arms Beta, Fatalis Waist Beta, Fatalis Greaves Beta, and Master's Charm 4. With this, we'll get Critical Eye 7, Agitator 7, Thunder Attack 6, Constitution 5, Evade Window 5, Stun Resistance 3, Blight Resistance 2, Spread and Power Shots 2, Weakness Exploit 2, Stamina Surge 2, Crit Boost 1, Bow Charge Plus, Crit Element, and Clutch Claw Boost. This time you'll notice that I only have Weakness Exploit at level 2 instead of the usual level 3, which is kind of unusual. But that's because the bow itself already has 15% base affinity, so pair that with the 40% from Critical Eye and 20% from Agitator, you already have 75% affinity, which is why Wax can remain at level 2 and we can still achieve 100% affinity. So more slots for us to play with. Now unfortunately we don't have Coalescence in this build, despite having Blight Resistance 2, but there are two things that you can do. Either change out one of the skills to max out Blight Resistance, or you can always swap out the Spread Jewels and Clutch Claw boost for Coalescence 3. I don't actually know which one will provide more damage, probably Coalescence, but it's really up to you to swap skills out to your liking. So play around with it. Now on to our final element, water. Again, we're going to be using Kia Water, and as for the armor pieces, we are going with Fatalis Helmet Beta, and then Meow Chest Gamma, Fatalis Arms Beta, Fatalis Waist Alpha, Fatalis Greaves Beta, and Flood Charm 4. With this we'll get Agitator 7, Water Attack 6, Crit Eye 5, Constitution 5, Evade Window 5, Stun Resistance 3, Weakness Exploit 3, Divine Blessing 3, Stamina Surge 2, Crit Boost 1, Flinch Free 1, Bow Charge Plus, Crit Element, and Clutch Claw Boost. Let's be real, the only reason this build is the way it is because I couldn't be bothered to farm for the last bit of material. I needed to upgrade my charm to level 5. But it's got its own appeal. So in addition to Evade Window 5, we also get Divine Blessing 3 this time. So, you know, there definitely will be times where you just time your dodges a little bit off, or perhaps the hitbox just lingers for far too long. There'll still be a chance of you taking half damage, so that's always nice. And besides that, there's also Flinch Free 1. I put this in because I'm personally quite a lazy guy and can't be bothered to manage power coatings. So I basically always have close range coatings on, like from the very beginning of my hunts. But because of that, I always need to get up close and personal, especially when the monster is down. But the same also goes for all melee hunters out there. So I would always get flinched out of my dash dancing, and it is infuriating. Not a problem anymore though with this set, because I have flinch free and I can stick my middle finger up the other hunters while I flinch them with my arrows instead. Sweet revenge. But there you have it. These are my personal builds for each of the 5 elemental bows, made to conform to my own comfort level and playstyle. Hopefully this gave you guys some ideas for your own builds. Feel free to copy these builds exactly or tweak them however you like and have fun with the builds. Now, I just want to say once again, like my previous bow build video, these build videos are not meant to tell you how you should be making your sets or how you should be playing the games or what skills you should have. It's a video game, so just play it however you like, build whatever sets you want, and most importantly, have fun. This is a video game. You are meant to have fun with it. But besides that, that is gonna be it for this video. Hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, happy hunting, hunters.